Hey, what's up everybody out there in Learning Land? Day 2 of our 10-day chord melody challenge. If you're watching this in 2020, you still have a chance to win a brand new ukulele from Kala. To participate, simply film yourself playing these challenges, upload them to Instagram, and tag us at TenThumbsPro, at Kala Brand Music, hashtag chord melody challenge. There's a free printable tab for everyone as well, pinned in the first comment of the comment section on YouTube, so you can print it out or put it on your tablet and follow along. Yesterday we learned how to hear the melody while we playing the chords. Today what we're going to learn is how to take a melody and turn it into a chord melody, a process called harmonization. So let's go ahead and grab our ukulele, brain and attention span, and let's learn how to harmonize this melody. Follow me on in and let's break it down. Okay, so this is an excerpt from Oh Christmas Tree. We do have a full tutorial. I'll link that in the description. Let's go ahead and look at the chords. We have an F, a C, and a C7. So we're only working with 3 chords. Okay, so let's go ahead and play through our melody. 1, 2, 3. So that's our melody, and that's what we are going to turn into a chord melody. So we start off, and we're going to play the open C. In our first measure, we see above the melody, you see F and you see C. What that is it is implying the chord or letting you know what the chord is over that harmony. That's very, very common. And if you look at sheet music that you buy off the internet, you will see that. So that way, when you have the melody and you know how to read the key signature, you don't need to guess what the chord is. You don't have to do any of that work because they tell you the chord right above it. So that means that first F note there, I'm going to use our thumb strum technique from yesterday, and I'm going to make an F chord. So if we look at the first measure, we get okay, we're going to let's go ahead instead of coming back to the C, let's just address it right now. If I want to, I can just pass through and I don't have to do anything there. But I want that C to get its little, oh Christmas tree, it's day in the sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 3rd fret of the E string, and I'm going to strum through with my 3 fingers on my way to the next F. So that would make the first measure. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I am looking at what those chords are above the melody and using that information to find that note in the fretboard with the tabs and play the chord over it using my thumb strum. That's why if we look at the second measure, it's back over F. And our melody is an A note. So if I want to harmonize this, I need to play an F chord over that A note. And again, my ear hears the highest note. So I'm going to make an F chord and strum through with my thumb all 4 strings. And then it's just the open A string after that. So the first 2 measures you get 1, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3. The next measure is a C7, and the first note is the 3rd fret of our E string. So we know the note and we know the chord. What we're going to do is play this note and strum through because if we were to make a C7 with that chord, but the reason we don't play the full C7 is because your ear hears the highest note. So we use our thumb strum, strumming those first 3 strings, O, O, 3, and then we're going to go open A, 1st fret, then open E string on our way back to this F. Now, this 1st fret here on the 2nd beat of that 3rd measure, that one, that is what makes a C chord a C7. When you look at a C chord and then you look at a C7, be observant and kind of look at which finger is in a different position, because that finger that's in a different position is what plays the different chord, and that different note gives it color. So I'm actually going to go ahead and strum through all 4 strings there as well to give this particular note a little extra support. And then this is when we're talking about harmonizing the melody, these are the choices that you make. And I can either play just that melody there, or I can harmonize it by playing the full chord. Ultimately, it's up to me for this song, but when you learn how to make your own chord melodies, it's up to you, and experimenting with that can be a lot of fun. So we get, because essentially up to this point, we've only done the notes on the first beat, except for that 1C. So we've only done the notes on the first beat, which when you're learning tends to be the most common, to play these chords on the first beat. So that last measure is all we have in question, and you're going to notice the 3rd fret of the E string is what we're playing, but we're playing it over an F chord. So this means it's a G note, and the notes of an F are F, A, C. They're not F, G, A, C. So we have our first non-chord tone, our first alien tone, our first borrowed note. The G is the second interval relative to the F. If you don't know what intervals are, check out this link up here. It is all about intervals. Intervals are the foundation of music theory. They're like the building block. They're what you use to talk about it. So if you have any ability to talk about music theory, you do so thanks to intervals, to be like, hey man, you know, when you play the F and you hit that flat second, that sounded really Spanish. Why don't we go ahead and drop that down and just resolve that to the root? That's what they're talking about. They're using intervals. So you don't need to understand it for this challenge, but it is very important if you ever want to be able to communicate what you're playing at a high level. And the second interval over the key of F is not in the chord, but second intervals sound good. So we're going to need to know how to do this. We make our F chord and we get our pinky on the 3rd fret of the E string, and we strum through the first 3 strings like we've been doing. We don't want the A because the G is the highest note and your ear hears the highest note. That probably feels like I've said that a lot, but that's because it is worth repeating. It's just really important information. Your ear hears the highest note. Is there an echo? Okay, so then you remove that pinky, and I'm already in position to play the F. The open C note here is what we call the turn it around. That open C note playing isn't actually finishing this idea, but it's introducing the next 4 measures. So let's play through these first 4 measures together, and including that last C note. We get 1, 2, 3. So the next time through, if we bring it up, we're going to see that this is exactly the same with the exception of the ending. We don't have that C note to finish. So let's go ahead and play through it exactly the same. Now that would be an opportunity to mix it up a little bit. When you have 2 melodies that are exactly the same, one thing you can do to make a chord melody interesting is harmonize them different ways. So if you have a song that's 3 verses and every verse is the exact same and people are listening to your instrumental performance, one way to keep them interested is to reharmonize each verse. For example, here we could play more frequently thumb strums. That's one idea, right? And that's just a tip for moving forward. Okay, so there you have it. That is how we used the information with the chords above it and the melody to turn our melody into a chord melody, okay? If you know how to read sheet music, that means you are ready to make your own chord melodies with any song that you want. The site I like, is called musicnotes.com. I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that. If they are watching this, I would love to be affiliated with them. If you work for them, let me know, because I spend a lot more money on sheet music than I would like. But that's because I like to have the sheet music in front of me, because it's much faster than it is trying to work these songs out by ear. Okay, and you can do that too. You're at the place where you have the ability now to download the sheet music. If you can read it, figure the melody out, and use those little chords to come it all together. And just remember, your ear hears the highest note. Take care. Great job. You made it to the very end. You are doing great. So you can actually take this skill now that you know it. And if you know how to read sheet music, you can download sheet music from any of these websites on the internet and create your own chord melody, which is very, 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 very cool. If you were speaking Colombian Spanish, you could call it bacano, which means very, very cool. Que bacano. Remember, I encourage you to participate for the challenge if you still have a chance to win. Also, I encourage you to subscribe and think about becoming a Patreon. It starts at just $1 creation, and you can cap that creation at $1 a month if you want, or you can pay 2 or 3 times a month if you choose. And it has printable tabs for all of our lessons. It really, really accelerates your learning, and it makes it much easier for you to learn. It helps me out, and it's cheaper than a cheap cheeseburger, all right? So if you like the tabs for this lesson, you like the tabs for all the lesson. Think about it, all right? Okay, and until next time, keep on rocking and rolling. Have a lovely day. Talk to you later.